do you believe that Apple's valuation is finally topping out, and maybe its stock price as well?
Well, I don't know. I do think it's expensive, but with everything the Fed's doing, I mean, they're doing everything to prop up Apple and the rest of the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. So as long as you have easy money, it's tough to bet against the market and the biggest component of the market.
Yeah, I mean, try to connect the dots. I mean, for our viewers, they probably wonder, well, I don't understand the connection between the Fed and Apple. It's not like the Fed is buying Apple stock directly. It's more that the Fed is buying up debt and throwing so much money at certain parts of the bond market that cash is being freed up and used for that. Is that the dots, how you would connect them?
Well, we had a little joke amongst customers yesterday. We said they're both in the same business. The Fed and Apple both make a lot of cash. So, but that's not the main reason. The Fed's pinning interest rates to near 0%, which is forcing risk appetites to want to buy stocks that have some sort of earnings or yield or something like that. So when you're offered 0% in fixed income, you just want to buy anything. And there's so much algorithms out there and things like that base their formulas on the interest rates. And when interest rates are so low, it's just sending all the stocks flying. So I agree that, it's expensive, no doubt. But, you have to look at the forest for the trees because, we're living in a very special time right now where the Fed is just helping all multiples rise a lot.
But what's amazing is that we're here for an Apple segment, and you're not talking about Apple's core business, Haim. You're talking about, the Fed, basically a handful of unelected officials, all good people, I'm sure, running a budget that is roughly double that of the U.S. annual budget. I mean, think about that. Like 5 people that are running a $7 trillion balance sheet when you have 535 members of Congress doing a $4 trillion. But anyway, that's a different issue. What about Apple's core business?
I'll tell you my answer.
Are you pleased with the way that? Yes, we forget the core business.
I'm a trained fundamental bottoms-up analyst focused on earnings and valuations. I've been doing it for a couple of decades. But right now, fundamentals are a little bit out the window. Yes, maybe on earnings, if a company misses, it might be down a couple of percent, but then it'll be back up, 5-10% in the next week or two. That's the environment. I mean, I'm happy to talk about Apple's fundamentals. I will tell you, they had a blowout earnings call. I mean, the numbers weren't amazing because they're, deep in pandemic and I would say a global depression or recession. I mean, depression more like, right? We've never had down jobless claims up this much and jobs down this much. Yeah, it's nuts. But for what they said on their call was blowout. I mean, they said business is picking up. They said back to school is going to be strong. I mean, those are huge words. And they said holiday is going to be strong. They expect a strong holiday season also. I mean, Apple.
I got to imagine, Haim, that the back to school is going to be very unusual, but very potentially good for Apple. I mean, because so many school districts, the biggest school districts in America, by the way, are probably going to go all or nearly all virtual. For the folks that can afford it, they're going to probably have to upgrade their kids' iPads. And, we've been warned that too much screen time is bad for your kids. And now all of our kids are going to be doing is watching screens all day long. But they're going to probably buy, Apple products. And hopefully some of the stimulus plan is going to go to communities that can't, the families can't afford it. They might get stuff bought for them so that they can all at least, try to learn remotely on the same level. Apple is a dominator in the education space. And bizarrely, I would imagine that this pandemic and the lockdowns could be a positive for them in that.
Right. Well, I think you're bringing up great points. I mean, we're seeing it already so far since March, April, May. Companies like AMD, Intel, on the PC side have talked about, really strong growth. I think some of that's pull forward, but in the meantime, like you said, you have to deal with kids that are going to be out of school. They're going to have to deal with more screen time. It's better to have screen time than coronavirus. And, they're going to have to, they're shopping now. So, I think back to school shopping is already starting and preparing. And I think that was some of the bullishness that Tim Cook said on the call.